What's up, guys? Fearless here. Going to talk to you today about some of the best kicks in MMA. Starting with this guy right here, Mirko Cro Cop. Man, this guy was a legend from back in the Pride days. Some incredible strength by all accounts of people who fought him. And he was one of the first heavyweights to successfully incorporate the head kick into his game. He was infamous for that left head kick KO against the likes of legends such as Vanderlei Silva, Alexander Emelianenko, Alberto Rodriguez. However, later on in his career, what comes around goes around, and he lost against his own left head kick. Actually, it was a right head kick against Gabriel Gonzaga. Moving on. This guy right here, Uriah Hall, a karateka and kickboxer background. One of the best Ultimate Fighter KOs ever. A spinning hook kick, that's what he's famous for. He had some incredible performances against the likes of Gerard Mousasi, where he displayed the jumping, spinning back kick into the flying knee and TKO'd the likes of Gerard Mousasi, who is not, by any stretch of the imagination, an easy guy to finish, stand up or on the ground. Uriah Hall, in my opinion, probably the best stand-up in the middleweight division now in the UFC. Nonetheless, his wrestling is not on par. Next up is this guy right here, Melvin Manhoef, one of the hardest hitters in MMA, probably the hardest kicker in all of MMA, in my opinion. And I want to take you back to this Robbie Lawler fight in 2010, where Melvin Manhoef was unleashing a barrage of kicks against Robbie Lawler, essentially crippled Robbie. I mean, the guy's leg kicks were so powerful that Robbie's legs were going up in the air. After the fight ended, he could not stand. He was limping all over the place. The fight was almost stopped via TKO. However, Melvin Manhoef's one downfall is his wildness. He tends to drop his guard and unleash that wild barrage of punch and leg kicks. However, Robbie Lawler exploited that and threw that overhand right that put Melvin Manhoef to sleep. Nonetheless, his leg kicks were a sight to be seen. And I want to take you back to this video. The link is in the description box, where Melvin Manhoef is hitting pads that are being held by this 350 plus pound dude, which is necessary for the kind of power that Melvin Manhoef brings to the kicks. Click the link down below and watch it if you're interested. Next up is this guy right here, Jose Aldo, the undefeated featherweight champion for 10 years straight before his downfall against Conor McGregor. I want to take you back to this fight against Uriah Faber. Jose Aldo's roundhouse kicks to the outside and inside of the thigh are just deadly and ruthless. They immobilize and cripple the opponents. It only takes but a handful, maybe 3 to 5 proper leg kicks from Jose Aldo to the outside and inside of the thigh to completely immobilize that leg. And in this fight against Uriah Faber, he lands an upwards of 30 leg kicks to the thigh of Uriah Faber. Most of those kicks to the outside of his lead leg. Uriah Faber had no answer. He could not check them. The speed of Jose Aldo's kicks are like none other. They come out of nowhere. They are unpredictable, and he lands them better than anybody else in MMA. Here's a picture of Uriah Faber's leg after the fight. As you can see, seriously swollen, hematoma, the blood, the size of the leg has just doubled. Damage is undeniable. Moving on to this guy right here. He is not an MMA fighter. However, he is a black belt in multiple martial arts and an honorable mention in this list. Joe Rogan, second degree black belt in Taekwondo. He has been training in kicks since the youngest age. He has perfected many kicks, including the spinning wheel kick, the spinning back kick, And I'll put a link in the description box to him performing these kicks. Also, just a sight to be seen. The way he throws effortlessly those spinning wheel kicks out of nowhere. He bends the bag, a high-level Taekwondo practitioner, and probably a force to have been reckoned with back in the day if he had chosen to go down the path of MMA. Next up is this guy right here, the former lightweight UFC champion. For the longest time, this dude was considered to have the best kicks in MMA because of his diversity as well as the unconventional nature of his kicks. They had no wind-up whatsoever. His right as well as his left head kick came out of nowhere. They were completely unpredictable. No wind-up. That's also from a Taekwondo background. This man is a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo. He has some crazy kick highlights, including this jumping head kick off the cage to Benson Henderson back in the WEC days. And here you see him doing that Muay Thai cartwheel kick to the head. However, even he was outclassed in his most recent fight against none other than Edson Barboza, another Taekwondo black belt, this time a second-degree black belt. This guy has spectacular kicks, the best kicks overall, in my opinion, in all of MMA. When it comes to the explosion as well as the diversity of the kicks, he is like none other in the UFC and MMA in general. He has the first spinning wheel kick KO in the UFC, that famous highlight reel. You can see it right here. In his recent fight against Anthony Pettis, his kicks were just so much more devastating. Anthony gave it his all. They were standing up for all 3 rounds. They both landed significant strikes. However, the explosiveness of Edson Barboza and the power of his kicks proved too much for Anthony Pettis and was visible in the inner thigh of Anthony Pettis, which was swollen and bruised after that fight. The power of Edson Barboza's kicks made them resonate inside the octagon, and that is ultimately what led to his victory against Anthony Pettis. That's it, guys. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to get more MMA related content.